bring a few pictures to show you how the telephone
What's that?
has evolved. I know some of you guys had this at home, that little rotary phone.
Used all those so far.
And then when you got real fancy, you went to the pager. You didn't have a cell phone to call them back, but at least you had a pager. And then we had the first cell phone model in there. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, how the world has evolved. So, remember life before emails? Remember life before social media? And remember life before cell phones? We're going to take a trip down memory lane for just a few minutes. It was only a decade ago that a BlackBerry was actually a fruit, that a tweet was actually what birds did, and that cameras actually had film. Remember when you had to take your film in and have it developed just to see your pictures?
Yep.
Or remember when you had two choices when you went to pump your gas, full service and self-service? Someone actually came out and pumped your gas for you. And back in Gary, Indiana, in the winter months, between November and January, it was all about full service. Nobody wanted to get out of their car during that time to pump their gas. And remember at the airport when we didn't have to take our shoes off and we actually got food instead of peanuts and pretzels? Well, a little over 30 years ago, the internet revolution began. And shortly thereafter, the cell phone evolution followed. Remember back in the day when you had homework from school and you went to your local library and you encountered that mean old librarian that said, shh, be quiet in the library. Or if you were lucky enough to have an encyclopedia set at home, then you did your research there. But now kids have tons of resources available to help them learn new things. Cell phones have evolved immensely since the early 80s, both in design and in functionality. Cell phones literally put the world at our fingertips. We can't even get lost anymore. We've got Siri and GPS. Remember that family vacation in the car? The best part of the ride was getting lost and asking for directions. Once your dad pulled over, you got to go in and get a snack, got a little break from the ride. Not anymore. Well, just like the internet and cell phones, the transformation is also happening in the workplace. For the first time, we have 4 generations working in the workplace at the very same time. We have our traditionalists that were born from 1927 to 1945. We have our baby boomers that were born from 1946 to 1964. We have our Gen Xers that were born from 1965 to 1981. And last but not least, we have our millennials, our Gen Yers as they're called. And they were born from 1982 to the present. So why is it important to understand these differences in generations? Because each generation brings its own set of values, beliefs, perspectives, likes, dislikes, and skills to the workplace. It's important that companies understand the wealth of information that this dynamic mix can offer to the workplace. Well, let's dive a little deeper and understand those differences and their values a little bit more. So first we have our traditionalists. Remember, they were born from 1927 to 1945. Traditionalists typically value clear roles and responsibilities. Tell me what I need to do, and I'll get it done. They have strong work ethic and strong work focus, and they prefer to work in teams. Traditionalists don't mind working from sun up to sundown, if that's what it takes to get the job done. Then we have our boomers, who were born from 1946 to 1964. I just missed this group. Boomers are seen as optimists or visionaries. They are strong advocates for team building, into health and wellness, and always wanting to prove themselves. This is where those wellness initiatives started, with the boomers. And when your company forces everybody to attend that off-site bowling event for team building, you can just thank the boomers for that. Gen Xers, they were born from 1965 to 1981. Now these are my peeps. We like work-life balance. We want to be able to attend our daughter's ballet sessions. We want to be able to attend our kids' soccer games. We don't want to work 12-hour days. We're also self-reliant, less corporate, and we want to have a lot of fun at work. We were the ones who started that business casual. We were done with the business suits, done with the ties, and ladies, we were done with those pantyhose. Lastly, we're going to cover our millennials. Millennials have gotten a bad rap as being called the entitled generation, or often being referred to as the Y generation. Why do I have to get a job? Why do I have to move out? Why do I have to clean my room? They're sometimes seen as lazy.
Ooh.
We must acknowledge that millennials grew up with technology at their fingertips. They want to constantly be challenged, and they want an organization that is environmentally conscious. An organization that actually gives back? Who would have thought of such a thing? And millennials grew up structured and supervised. Millennials are also seen as the fastest growing generation. They currently make up 1/3 of the workplace, 54 million adults between the ages of 18 and 34. And in the year 2030, the number of millennials in the workplace is expected to reach 75%. So most of the workers will be of this age group. So it's imperative that companies look to recruit, to train, and to retain millennials in a different way. Some say millennials are reshaping the workplace. So let's talk about recruitment. Millennials are not going to fill out a paper application. They grew up with technology, remember? So if your company doesn't offer any online application completion and submission solutions, chances are you've already lost them. A paper application is a turnoff to them and a slap in the face of technology, something they thrive on. Some of them even want to know why you chose them over the other candidate. Back in the day, we didn't care why we got the job. We were happy we got it. Companies are not just offering competitive salaries to this group, they are also offering stock incentives, bonuses, more time off, and even relocation. They have a relocation service that will actually come to your house, pack your things, label them, and unpack them in your new place. How convenient is that? And training. Millennials are ambitious and eager for their careers to take off. 72% of millennials want to know about their career pathing and development opportunities before they're even hired. When describing their ideal job, they are more likely to value opportunities for career advancement and learning new skills than anything else. So support for and visibility of a career path is critical to this group. Millennials also don't want a standard once a year or twice a year performance review. They want constant feedback, like every week. Now, they grew up playing sports, where everybody had to have playing time, everybody had to get a trophy, and everybody received constant praise from their adults. So they're used to it. Me, I have regular touch-base sessions bi-weekly touch-base sessions with everyone on my team. And in those touch-base sessions, we talk about their accomplishments. That's where the praise comes in. We talk about their goals. That's where the strategy comes in, and talk about future planning. And then I always ask, the last question is, how can I be a better leader, and what can I do to support you more? Now, when it comes to retention, it's important to know that most millennials know within the first day if they will stay on a job or not. And they don't expect to stay much longer than a year. So the job of retaining this group is much more difficult than in past generations. 1/3 of millennials say they would quit their jobs today if their boss asked them to delete their Facebook page. Go figure. Although millennials are the most highly educated group, they're also facing the highest rate of underemployment. Approximately 79% of millennials have a bachelor's degree, compared to our Gen Xers, where it was 69%, and our baby boomers, where it was 62%. And although employers must start listening. And although millennials can be seen as the most high maintenance workforce, they are also the most high performing. So making a difference in the workplace starts with understanding the power of being different, having a different perspective, having a different approach, and having a different way of thinking. Thank you.
All right.